to live stream the meeting. Okay. So I think we're on. Welcome, everybody. This is Darlene Rollins with
Darlene, you're muted.
Okay, thank you. So none of that was heard? I don't. So anyway, I guess we'll start again. Then welcome to Earthwalkways. And spring, is kind of rounding the corner into summer, fully sprung. And May is this great month, I think, of celebration. And community gathering oftentimes, we just completed Memorial Weekend, which is, also a kind of collective ceremony. It's, our culture has lost, the power of ceremony in many ways, or the meaningfulness of certain ceremonies. And yet I think we all are touched or, appreciate, having even a day to remember like that. So, ideally, I think we would, sort of look at it and hope that there would be no more wars. And so the losses of the, fallen soldiers in all of these wars that we're memorializing, it's like, hopefully we can come to a place where we can go beyond that. And yet, we're also, for me, in a way, memorializing Mother Earth. She's been a casualty of late. And in her shaking, we're all shaking in various ways. And of course, we add to that, in different ways in our actions and our, sort of, we're in transition, right? And everything is changing and everybody's vying in a way for control, for power. So this kind of time together, I hope to share is a whole different thing, so let's counterbalance that. And so for me, that is in, honoring and remembering and singing for Mother Nature and for love. And so, like I said, we went to this beautiful encontre of our spiritual family over Mother's Day weekend, and we sing in unison and sing together, and there's a guitar and accordion and many sort of, it's a big band, right? A live musical production, a participatory experience, right? And that's what ceremony is. And our culture, really, we don't follow that too much because we're used to making that kind of thing as an entertainment, and we're like consumers of it. So, there's a whole different level of experience when we are participants. And so in this particular ceremony, we sing in unison, and we're all together in the beat and also in the prayer in our hearts for, Mother Earth, for, the end of war, that kind of thing. And this is an Earth Spirit ceremony. And it's a ceremony that has roots in ancient traditions. These kind of ceremonies were, very familiar and, part of most cultures in the world. More recently, our Western culture has lost contact with this level of things. And to the extent that it retains it, it's in a less participatory form. We're quiet and sitting in the pews, or we're you know, doing things, on the sidelines while some leader is doing everything. So guiding us, and leading the ceremony and that. So we have it, but it just feels to me like in this way that it could be more robust. And so, but I think it's a cultural thing. I think we prefer that in some ways. I'm surprised at how reticent people are to sing and move, and participate in these things. In earth-based traditions, people use song and dance to bring the community together and to uplift the community and to grieve or to honor something, right? And so everybody participated and nobody felt self-conscious about that. Today it's very sad because, like we feel self-conscious, and unless we have a, great voice, or we're, opera levels, vocalizations or something, like we feel like we're not good enough. And so, part of what my programs here are doing is just inviting people to challenge that and risk that and see what really happens when you do participate. And not only just sing, but actually sing out, and sing out, in this way of also listening, so that we're harmonizing and we're singing together as well. So it's a very interesting little technology that helps us learn to be our individual selves and participate and also harmonize with the whole. So, like I said, we've replaced it in our culture with entertainment, and and performances are done, that kind of make certain people, the special ones, because they're really good at it or whatever. And again, in the opposite way, ceremony is really done to make everybody equal. And so, anyway, Earthwalkways invites everyone to be part of the dance. And a lot of my programs are, very experiential, very participatory. So May is the month of ceremony. It's the blossoming of the year. It's the wedding feast of the earth and the sun. Our mother, Earth Mother, is birthing a new cycle of seasons, and another round is commencing. And a cycle, of these seasons, and, like in our hemisphere, this has gone on, like all my lifetime, and in some ways, in various forms, these cycles ever since the earth began, but they are different cycles, and yet they are sort of longer than our memories. And so it seems like, this is, the balance that we've been in for all of this time, is kind of tipping and in transition. And in some ways we can see that, whether it's human caused or not, it's this basic cycle of life is undergoing some kind of transformation. And we're entering a new geological epoch or time period, and this does mean our natural cycles are going to be out of whack, maybe, from what we have remembered and always known, and maybe they come back into some kind of new balance. I don't know. But, if we can sort of realize that there's something happening that's, it's worldwide, it's environmental, it's political, it's created from the globe shrinking, resources shrinking, populations growing, many, many things, and this kind of now, sort of, many people have ideas of, how to survive the future, and there's a lot of pressures happening, and so we're trying to just be a counterbalance again. And so, this is another way to participate in this transition, and to support the earth in this transition. And so instead of like falling apart, and there's going to be some of that because, it kind of has to go into chaos before it reconfigures. But, it's like the understanding is, even in chaos theory, that as energy and, chaos intensifies it, it actually raises the energy and creates a new level of organization. So, as all of this, is building on one level, we can also see it. There's a new birth happening. And, it's not just a destruction. And so, like, May reminds me, of this beautiful potential of emergence. the bounty of our planet and its vast creativity, and it is like, if you look historically, if you look over geological time, if at the Earth, even at the whole cosmos, there's this just process of miraculous emergence, one after another, of something new being born out of, the communion, the connection between things. And so, we don't know where we're going, but the big picture keeps showing us, that there's something, intelligible and intelligent, and something, is ending, but something new is coming into place. And it's probably the right thing for our next, journey and part of our journey. Hopefully we can meet it and, really find ways of, healing and bringing our communities back together again and back in connection to the earth. And maybe there will be some of us that do that and other places that are not, I don't know. But we can, definitely, wherever we are, whenever we are, get together and we can sing. We can sing for Mother Earth. And in that way, it also is a way to participate with hearts and minds and hands, and it feels like in a way we're laboring now to give birth to this new earth, and to consider ourselves as all of us are midwives, and we are at her side, and there's this labor, and during labor of inner kind, birthing labor or just labor, it helps to sing. Remember, whistle while you work, the dwarves in Sleeping Beauty, right? It's kind of like there's a way that we need to, bring in, through song, I think what we need. And so, this program is called Let's All Sing for Our Mother Earth, and I want to just share some of the songs that have come to me, and then, we're doing some programs with that. And so let's lend our hearts and energies and efforts to uplift and affirm and celebrate, this month, Mother Month, this month of May, this month of Mary, and this, blossoming of this abundance and beauty and love for life, right? And notice how everyone is included. And, if you can go outside in these beautiful breezes, moving the, delicate new leaves on the branches, and it's just kind of like this, beautiful harmonizing of everything. And, when you look, it's great diversity. Things are competing and things are eating each other and, all of that. And yet, you don't feel the horror that we feel, it's like there's something else going on. And there's this kind of harmonizing that we feel when we make that connection. And I think it's part of showing us something, like we need to study it. We need to try to listen deeply to see what, that capacity for harmonizing is, because I think that's something that individually and collectively we can maybe offer in these coming times. And in nature, it's interesting because two opposing forces coming together like create a spiral, if it's a tornado or a, little whirlpool in the water or something, it's like it transforms into a spiral. And in a way, that's a dance. That's an interchange of energies. And I guess it can be destructive, and hurricanes and tornadoes and that kind of thing. But it's also like this creative response of integration that, manifests in this, new whirlpool, this energy, this entity. And like that, it's like a flame, it has, it's like a self in a way. So it births something. And there's just an interesting thing to play with, like, well, if we could take all of our conflictual things and see if we could spiral them somehow, what would that look like? So, if we can also sort of embody both the masculine and the feminine in this, because, the light of the sun is what, is just allowing everything to burst forth. And And, that's the energy of the Father, is it's generative. It warms and shines and brings to life, and life responds, and feels, that blessing in a way from the Father. And, and it arises and it comes from Mother Earth, but it's initiated, it's activated by, the Father Son. Everything that happens on this planet would not be happening without the Son. And so, again, we find, a way to celebrate, to love, to affirm, to communicate our love. Eckhart Tolle says that, we have a need for nature to bring us into the present moment. But he says when we join nature in that present moment with our, awareness of the beauty, the heart-centered awareness, not the mental awareness, but the connectedness, and we see the beauty of the sunset or the tree just so in the breeze or whatever, there's a way that he says, like nature joins us in the field of awareness and sees itself for the first time and knows its own creativity and beauty through our awareness. So I think that's such a beautiful exchange. And I think that, we want to sort of do that as a part of our connectedness to nature. And then another way, I remember from the very beginning, like being around a campfire or maybe a ceremonial fire, we would drum circle something, we would sing again, like we would maybe drum, but there would also be, singing nature-based songs and chants and rounds, like many from sort of, English supportive native, like sort of a kind of way of trying to find in our language, chants and things, but also using traditional chants, Native American and, many, many other paths. I mean, yogic paths and Buddhist paths and all of that, have a deep love of nature. Taoism, so much is, in our spiritual journey is founded in that. And it's kind of just recently that we've disconnected from that. So I want to encourage everyone to, just learn some of these songs to sing to the earth on your own, as you shower and praise the water for being there, remembering, the bounty and the benefit that's here and opening that gratitude channel. And you can search online, just look for nature-based chants and you'll find some wonderful, easy sing-along songs, that are fabulous for affirming and uplifting life. And maybe you have, your favorite song, so I'm not saying any one particular kind of music, but find the music that you can connect to yourself and also that seems to be, a praise or an appreciation or a affirmation of nature in some way. In shamanic traditions, all of nature is filled with being. And so the appropriate thing is to say hi to it, to relate to it, to recognize, again, that it's in relationship with us. And to have good manners, is to treat it as a fellow individual being with respect and, acknowledging, that there's consciousness, sentience, and presence there. And so, it's just a really neat thing to try to bring your voice into a natural setting. You can just, you don't have to be embarrassed. You can explore at what it's like to sing and to share, from your heart with the world. A lot of times in the Vision Quest, I recommend people find their own inner chant or their own song, right? And then what's really cool is that even, when I am singing in nature, I often find, especially if I'm around my bird feeder where there's a lot of birds, they tune in, they participate, they listen. And so that's always really fun that you have, the birds chiming in and sort of becoming part of the orchestra. And then other times, the other night there was a great big, frog concert in my pond. And so I went out and got the harmonica, got the flute, did several different recordings. If you follow me on YouTube or whatever, I'll probably try to post some of those. But it was, this just cacophony of frog sound. And then, I was playing harmonica and flute in the background and playing along with it. And so to me, it's always really fun to just be participatory with nature in her, minute to minute experience. And that was sort of like, again, the great feast of May. The frogs are, really in their mating dance, right? And again, it's that union of the masculine and the feminine and the procreation that is, this time speaks to me a lot about. So I want to share in this video some of my nature songs that have come to me in this place, and also some video from this place, so that ideally you'll have like a little sense of, being here on the land with me and singing these songs. And I'm also sort of trying to invite people that might be interested in helping me. The songs that I've recorded are on SoundCloud. Most of them are just me and need some help. And I would love to re-record them, and they're meant to be sung in union and have, other guitar or other musical instruments along the line. So if anybody is interested in, sort of supporting me or, joining in and trying to get these recorded in a better way, let me know. I think it probably needs to be more or less local. I don't know if you can kind of do that online or not, but love to have it. So, earthwalkways@gmail.com. I'm also going to put the link to the SoundCloud recordings and the playlist that I have there. These are the ones that are mostly for nature in the spring, Mother's Day time frames, right? And so we'll play a few of them, and these are a bit more elaborate. They're like poems to music, and they have nature and spirit-based themes. And they are meant to be sung, like I said, together in union. And then when we blend our voices, the neat thing is everybody sounds great. Everyone can sing, and the song comes through this instrument of our body, our apparello, our instrument, right? And this is a very healing thing to do when we, bring the sounds, the vibrations of the sounds, the, energy of the song into and through our bodies. And so it helps us also as individuals learn how to listen and act at the same time, how to receive and, actively participate. So it's a very interesting kind of soft technology that helps us learn to listen and follow along. There's the cadence of the melodies and the lead voices, and then feels kind of like paddling together in a canoe, right? Synchronized and working for a common cause. And what we discover is that this, this uplifts. It has pure joy in it. And so this will shift a mood, will, each breath giving power really to our sails, like if we're using this, wind and water metaphor, it's a kind of esprit de corps, and so wonderful and simple, a soft technology, that we've forgotten in our culture. And people in traditional communities and cultures would also sing together on community projects, house raising, pulling in the fishing nets and rowing the canoe, right? As well as, times for community ritual, times of grieving, times of celebration and harvest, times of, like together they would face these times. And so this is something that we're, like learning sort of the ancient traditions can take us into the future. And I've called some of my programs ancient future programs, because we need to ground back into these ancient technologies and connectedness, and that will help carry us into the future. So I'll try to remember to put the link to the SoundCloud on the in the comment section. And so again, these are mostly home recordings, and better for learning and just singing along. So let's start a little video slideshow I made here at Earthwalkways. And this song is called The Wedding Feast. And all of the scenes and these pictures that I'm going to show you, in this little slideshow on the video, or anything else that we're showing, are all scenes right here at the Earthwalk retreat. So we'll continue, with some music and some slides. I do want to read the words as if in a poem, just so that you can kind of feel that. And sometimes it's a little hard to hear, what the words are. So it says, this is called The Wedding Feast. And it's about this feast of May. It says, living in a forest, I see such light and grace. The presence of the holy bride, returning now to take her place. The presence of the holy bride commands we dance and sing, to lift our hearts and call our souls, to come and feast at her wedding. Her wedding gown is lacy green and lofts with every breeze. The little birds take refuge there. My lady fair, I hear them sing. I hear them sing, and in my heart, I bless this newborn day. The time is short. Your light is strong. And by that I mean the forest light, the holy bride's light. I'm here with you. I sing, I call. So in a way, it's sort of like the anthem of Earthwalk at this time of year. So let me see about switching over to share a screen and some music. Let's see if we can do this. Okay, it's not setting up quite right. I need to move it back here. Okay, and we'll do. So, guess I need to move this back. I'm going to open this full screen, and so hopefully, hopefully people can hear and see the screen. Okay. Oops. I think it started something else. Hold on. What is that noise from? And we'll use that one in a minute. And then, okay, so come back up. I hope people are mostly seeing me. We'll continue in a minute with another song. But yeah, I just, I was enjoying like the sounds of the birds after that. And, I feel a lot, that there's fewer birds in the forest now. That was earlier on. And, the crows were calling. And what I heard a lot was the hermit thrush. And they're just such a beautiful clarion call, and sort of singing along in that. So I hope you, sort of enjoyed that in some of the pictures here. This is all down on what I call Enchanting Run. It's officially called Horsepen Run. But I kept going down there saying, I know that's not your real name. What's your real name? And then one day I had a song come to me that was basically Enchanting Run, enchant us, chanting on your way. So maybe one of these days you can check out that song as well. I didn't include it here in this. But we will see some of Enchanting Run coming up and more of the flow of the waters that go. It's all Nature Conservancy land, and it's about half a mile above the Rappahannock River. So kind of has a beautiful canyon and a great adventure going all the way down there. So let's see. Let me see where we want to go next. So yeah, so there's this there's a song called, To Value Our Mother, which was, kind of for Mother's Day and as an invitation, to come and sing to the forest. So we'll play that next and, share some scenes of, the forest. Again, some of the slides around here. So I'm going to share screen again. And so play there and go to this part.
By the sun and the moon, we learn to value our mother and the healing green of her garden. We learn to value our mother and the healing green of her garden. On this path we learn to drink beauty. We are quenched by the sun and the moon. You beautiful spring Mother's Day. Come with me to sing praise in the forest, to give thanks to the light of the forest. Come with me to sing praise in the forest. All nature be thanked and be praised. Come with me to sing praise in the forest, to give thanks to the light of the forest. Come with me to sing praise in the forest. All nature be thanked and be praised.
So yeah, there's this patient. Hold on, I'm here. Sorry, I don't know where that came from, and I couldn't never find it. So things just pop in. So okay, so yeah, let's continue. There's this beautiful way that in the forest bathing we want to really literally eat beauty, right? To drink beauty, to be quenched by the light of the moon and the sun, right? There's something amazingly, quenching about the moonlight, right? The full moonlight. And so there's just this way that there's this invitation in this to, come and spend time in the forest as much as you can, or in nature in any place. But, out your backyard is, one way as well. But yeah, we're really, in a nature deficit. And there's a kind of true, I mean, they call it nature deficit disorder, as a kind of real description of sort of our deep disconnection. And there's something that then makes us empty and lost in that. And then we try to, fill it with addictions and, consumerism and, entertainment and that kind of thing. So it's all a part of the journey. So let's go. There's another song that I have that I think you'll enjoy called Cradle of Creation. So I'm going to see if we can bring that up here. Okay, almost there. Can't seem to. Thought I could open this further, but oh, there it is. Sorry.
Rock
Okay. So let's continue. There's another one called Beauty Way that also, is an invitation to walk in beauty. It's kind of like this is a Native American Navajo predominantly, I believe, sort of understanding that, God is beauty and life is a beauty way. And it doesn't mean that it's, you know, always easy and sometimes darn right ugly or difficult, but there is something ultimately when we look at nature and we see the grandeur and the majesty of that we, sort of begin to understand that, this beauty is an expression of the divine and to, take care of it outside of ourselves and to nurture it within ourselves is what God wants, right? This is our highest expression. And so, right now we're, sort of what seems more important than beauty is money, I guess, or, like some kind of ultimate survival. And so we're trying to remember to really honor this tremendous gift. I mean, Chief Seattle talks about, if we didn't have the animals and the beauty of nature, our souls would wither and die. And I think that that's so true. And even when we can barely spend time, gawking, and I think, Brian Swim says we were made to gawk, right? But none of us have much time anymore for gawking. And so there's this way that, even when we hardly have time for gawking, that there is this gift that we're giving to nature when we are surprised by light, when we are stunned by something before us. And more often than not, that can be the experience of being in nature when we are really deeply present to it. It's always there, something, miraculous, amazing, so perfect, every little nook and cranny. And so, it's a very nurturing thing that we do with that. So I'm going to shift over and share another song. Let's see, we're going to go past this one to Beauty Way. And I'll give that a start. I'm sorry, I'm trying to figure out. I don't know where. Okay, let's see if I can get back here. Okay, so there's where I need to be, and I can stop share. Should have stopped that before. Sorry, everybody. I am just not a technical person. So, yeah, so let's, you could see, I don't know if you noticed, like at the very end of that video, like, you know, how the breeze started blowing and the light was reflecting, you know, in this beautiful way. And like, to me, those are these everyday sort of miraculous, you know, stunning experiences in nature that, you know, seem, you know, special in some way, like it's happening, you know, it's just the wind and the breeze and the light, you know, but there's a communication or some way that it touches us, you know. It's almost like a surprise for the inner child. Oh, goody, you know, like look at this, you know. So you know, it's such a deep delight, and it's where our joy is. And so you know, hopefully you were able to kind of get a sense of that as well. So let's see. Let's go ahead and got a few more that we want to try to do. Try to set it up on the backside here. Ah, here we are. So this next one is a song that came to me like down on the creek, and it was kind of part of this journey of remembrance for me, because as a child, my father worked for the Forest Service, and there was oftentimes in Wyoming we would, you know, go fishing or have these Forest Service picnics, but they were always in a campground alongside a stream. And so my thing was, everybody else was, you know, playing softball or, you know, hanging out at the picnic. My thing was to go follow that mountain stream. And I remember spending hours, you know, wandering, going upstream usually, you know, around the next bend, you know, where's it coming from, what's there. So it was just a thing that always sort of defined me. And when I first came here and did a vision quest, I was sort of asking for my spirit name, right? And what I heard was follow streams, right? So my mother is a mountain stream is this next one. And let's see if I can share, and we'll put some more pictures of Earthwalk retreat. Like there's a nice video, hopefully, that we can enjoy. So.
Is a mountain stream she taught me to follow. My mother is a mountain stream she taught me to follow. The way was steep and treacherous, her song led me on. The way was steep and treacherous, her song led me on. Now I'm on enchanting run, she calls me her daughter. Now I'm on enchanting run, she calls me her daughter.
Okay. So, yeah, I don't know if you could hear that. It sounded like maybe the water sound was a bit loud. So maybe I'll just read the words to that out loud here. Um, so let's see. So it goes, my mother is a mountain stream. She taught me to follow. The way was steep and treacherous. Her song led me onward. Now I'm on enchanting run. She calls me her daughter. My heart sings in harmony beside her flowing water. Stone song, bird song, drum and flute echo down the canyon. The canopy embraces me. The trees are my companions. Here along the shores of life, footprints in the sand. Passing by along this way, I offer you my hand. Come and sit beside this stream, singing her enchantment. I have made this place for you. Here now is where you find it. In your heart is where it lives, forever this enchantment, forever this oasis, reflected in the forest green and in all of creation. So I have like maybe one or two more. And I hope you're enjoying the footage from Enchanting Run. This is kind of more her spring energies. In the summertime, she slows down a lot. The leaves take up a lot of the water as the leaves come out in the trees. And so, you know, we had quite a bit of drought going on. We're actually having a big rainstorm right now, and we've had a lot of rain just recently. So that's a real relief and a wonderful thing. But yeah, there's this, way that the creek is just this, beautiful place to go visit, and it changes, through the seasons. Every time I go down there, there's something new, something different. And so the here now is where the oasis and the enchantment always are. Okay, so let me go ahead and see what we're going to be doing next. Let's see. Yeah, so this is a short, very sweet little hymn called Mother Nature. And so we'll see. Oops, I don't think I shared, did I? Hold on. Okay, let me see. I need to share, right? Okay. So sharing.
Shines with the light of resplendence, shines through all forms and transformations. Mother Nature shines with the light of resplendence, shines through all forms and transformations.
Okay, so I just want to, share a little, like, that was a video of the mountain laurel down on the creek, and different years there's, different levels of blossom, and sometimes it's just totally amazing. That's where the wedding feast came from. But the whole creek is lined with mountain laurel, and so on those years that there's a lot of blooms, it's just gorgeous. And that there's something about, that five-sided petal, and, the beauty of that flower and the abundance of that flower that, really is such a gift and speaks to me and is part of this canyon experience. So, yeah, so let's go to our last song, and share that for a second. Let me get it set up, hopefully. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. So, yeah, in this last one, I guess let me just read the words again before, and we'll kind of close after that. I think I actually didn't get the page down, but it goes, "The light of life is all we need in order to perceive how great thou art. And the sun and the moon and the stars of the sky all sing your praises." And the your is whatever that, divinity is that is apparent all in and all around us, right? The light of the firmament. And so, I sing all sing your praises, as do I. The sun and the moon, the stars in the sky, all sing your praises, as do I. The essence of light lives in all that is on earth as in heaven. This presence is. So take some time deep in the forest, and there you'll find that this song is true. God bless this earth and all she holds. Help us to help her. Take us all home. So it's a kind of, prayer to participate again, and to find a way in our hearts that we can, share our love with her through, song, through admiration, through blessing, through ceremony, all of these ways. So, okay, and I'll see if I can find some good photos here to begin our slideshow with. I think I need to come back to the beginning here. But there's this, amazing journey that we have here on Earth in our bodies, and, there's this marriage of spirit and flesh, and it is in this place that we can understand what it's about a little more, and then participate more fully, and I think we'll have a fuller sense of our life, like we won't regret. We will know we came and we gave everything we could, and then, that's all that matters. So I'm going to go ahead and share this next song. Except that I need to get to the song first. Oh, for heaven's sakes! I can't get behind everything. There it goes. Okay. So I think we had it set up at one point to, stop it and not continue on, and somehow it got moved after that. But I hope everybody enjoyed this little kind of tour of Earthwalkways and, this connection with the joy of singing and singing with nature and to nature and for nature. So I want to invite everybody to, learn these songs, maybe sing along. Find some community that loves to sing together as well, and find some ways that you can, you know, sing to Mother Nature. So this is one of my hymns is called "Let's All Sing for Our Mother Earth," right? To know her value, to give her worth. Let's all sing for our Mother Earth. So I hope that you can continue to sing with me. Have a good day.